Welcome back, people, to All You Can Eat Chelsea. You already know what time it is. It's me, Miz, and we don't have Eunice today. We don't have him. We don't have him.
Sad boy hours, bro. Sad boy hours.
Sad boy hours, man. Listen, he couldn't make it today. He's got other commitments, family commitments, but it is what it is. Listen, we've been super consistent with this show. Look, at some point, something's going to have to give. Do you know what I mean? Something's going to have to give, but we still got a lot of things to talk about. Miz, how are you doing, bro? How are you?
Yeah, good, man. Just a bit under the weather. It's winter in Sydney, and yeah, man, we're in lockdown, by the way, again. So that sucks.
Really?
Yeah. There's been, you're gonna laugh. Like we had 13 new cases, so they locked the whole city down.
Oh my god! Well, actually, to be honest, in comparison to the way we deal with things, that's quite impressive. To be honest, that's quite impressive. Jesus
like
Christ.
I thought you might find that funny because you guys don't even, like 13. That's nothing.
I don't know what we do over here. To be honest, I think we're just rolling with the punches. Do you know what I mean? I got my dose the other day. My arm, nice. I felt it for a bit, but you know what? It's all right. It's all right. It's not too bad.
Do you feel funny after any sort of?
Nah, not
issues?
really. But I have no underlying health issues. I have no allergies. I'm like, when she was asking me questions, I was just like, nope.
Are you human?
Yeah,
nope.
I'm one of those people. So I guess if it's not going to affect like, 1 in 100 people is affecting with these symptoms, then it's definitely not going to probably affect me. So thank God, that's one of my strengths. That I should be fine with that. So yeah. But yeah, man, it's just, I mean, listen, from a Chelsea perspective, we've been doing all right this tournament, haven't we? It's not been too bad.
We've been taking over. We're absolutely taking over. Do you know what I mean? Jorginho, Christensen, Kante, Kai Havertz. Like, who else have I missed? Do you know what I mean?
Kai's banging the goals in at the moment, isn't he? He seems to be getting these little dodgy goals, but he's piling them up now. He really is.
He's doing all right. Two goals and two. The one against Portugal was really nice. Great movement. The one against Hungary was crucial, but
huge.
we literally gave away a goal straight after that, so that was quite funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, even Mason Mount for England, I think he's been the standout player so far, in my opinion. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about Grealish's game against Czech Republic. I didn't get to watch that match, but a lot of people were saying that he was a very good player. But yeah, man, Matisse, Chelsea taking over the Euros, man. It's good. It's good. I hope they come back buzzing with the same form and we don't lose that opening match against Palace.
Oh, God. Big up to everybody in the chat as well. Hope you guys are all doing well this morning or evening or night, wherever you are in the world. Do you know what it is with Chelsea? I think they got 16 out of 17 players that went through to the next round. I can't remember if it was that many, but it was definitely only one person that's not going, and that's Billy Gilmour due to his catching of the disease, unfortunately, with Scotland, and obviously they went out anyway. Everybody else has gone. Everybody that was in the Euros basically have gone through to the next round outside him.
Kovacic, even Batshuayi with Belgium.
That's probably why it comes up to 17.
There you go. Ampadu
players,
for Wales.
people like, Batshuayi. Damn, I didn't even think about him. So if he's part of it, 16 out of 17, then damn, that is what it is. But do you know what? I want to start with Christensen's goal for Denmark, because not only was that a goal for the people, because everybody wanted Denmark to do well after the tournament they've had, after having to play that fixture the same night and basically sacrificing the points because no one was in their right headspace to play that game. To this day, we stand by that, and I'm still shocked that it even took place. But Christensen, man, what a goal. A golazo. A golazo, miss.
Bro, what about that technique, man? The way he connected so well. It was so flush on the ball, and it moved like a rocket, man. The keeper took a dive once it actually hit the net. So he must have just seen a blur that just went past him. But what about that reaction as well, Matisse? When he scored that goal, he just ran and he was just pumping his chest.
You know
I would love to see him do one of those madness for Chelsea, man. Just once, a cracker like that.
the Danish Maldini, as they call him, Lewis must have been going mad when that went in. But you know what's so funny about Christensen is he still never scored for us. So for him to do that, it's just hilarious. He's never scored. Do you remember Christensen scoring for us? It's never happened.
Like in any competition?
None. No, it's like it reminds me of John Obi Mikel. Like, look how long it took him to score for us as well. But think about it, Christensen, you don't really see him like going up for headers from corners and winning those. So when else would he score? Do you know what I mean? Those are as a centre back, those are your prime moments to score from
you'd
corner.
Think he would have got like either a header from a set piece or a tap in, chaos in the middle and he taps it in. Yeah, Gary Cahill was a master of, just getting scrappy goals. You'd think at least Christensen would have, bagged one there. But man, next season, it's Christensen season.
It just hasn't happened, bro. It hasn't happened. It's and then for him to turn up and shoot like that is just incredible. Like you said, the technique was incredible. Do you know who I put on Twitter, but he reminded me as soon as that goal went in of David Luiz, because he's been playing middle of a back three. And I'm talking about the good version of David Luiz, not the current version, the actual prime. Because prime David Luiz was incredible. He was probably ahead of his time.
Conte David Luiz.
Yeah, Conte David Luiz, and even Champions League final David Luiz as well. Like, he was ahead of his time. He was ahead of his time. The way that he played out from the back in the modern game now, people would be dying for that. Do you know what I mean? Pep would be loving that. The way that he used to play those passes were incredible. If Christensen can play some more of those passes more frequently, plus he's better positionally, I'd say, than David Luiz as well. Concentration-wise, David Luiz used to be a bit suspect sometimes. Christensen seems to have that. And if he adds this beat in the chest nonsense, oh my goodness. And then those shots.
Question for you, Matisse. Do you want to see more of Christensen next season, like more regular games, or still a rotational base player? I feel like this brother deserves minutes, man.
He does. But you know what it is? Thiago Silva is still Thiago Silva. And I think Thiago Silva's going to have to play less games than most players anyway, because he needs rotating and he needs looking after. Yeah. So I think one more season, like the season we've had with Christensen there, well, a full season, not half the season, because since Tuchel came in, but one more season actually learning from Thiago Silva as he has under Tuchel as well, and coming in for his position at times. And so Thiago Silva can't play every game, so Christensen's still going to start games. We have loads of comps. I think one more season like that will do him the good, because what I want from Christensen is the season after, I want him to be in charge. I need someone. I don't really care who's in charge, if it's him, Rudiger, but I need someone in charge. Do you know what I mean? So I need him to be fully ready to take
for the season after.
Yeah, for the season after, take proper ownership of the defense. Someone's got to take leadership.
What about RCB, Matisse? We've seen him play RCB a few times last season, so good. That might be a bit of a shout as well, man. I know we've got Reece James penciled in there, but it might not.
No, I think Christensen could easily. I think Christensen could easily play those games, because Reece James has made a couple of mistakes that I've been surprised at in that position as well, hasn't he? So yeah.
I mean, he's been good. I mean, you'd think that he would be, if we continue with the three at the back. Naturally, it seems like it should be Reece James, but I wouldn't discount Christensen, man. I think Thomas Tuchel really likes Christensen a lot more than what we think.
I hope he does, because his performance has been incredible. Stepped in for Thiago Silva in the Champions League final, and I wasn't even nervous, which is crazy, right?
Yeah,
because exactly. Christensen used to be a player that gave me nerves on the big stage because he was nervous.
You'd think he'd throw up. Do you know what I mean? He'd vomit just around the corner.
So I was like, if you're nervous, then I'm definitely nervous as well. You know what I mean? But when he came in on that night, I was absolutely calm. I was like, no problem. I was more nervous if it was Zuma. I think if Christensen came in for Chelsea, I was like, fine, as long as he doesn't get injured, we're all good. And that 180, him and Rudiger, the 180s has just been incredible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I think they've got a very favourable draw as well next up, Denmark. Switzerland or?
I'm going to check it out. They beat Russia very, very convincingly.
Very good against Russia.
It was the performance that everybody was looking for. Do you know, it was. They've got Wales next. Sorry, Wales.
Yeah, I think they can take care of Wales, bro.
I have them down to beat Wales. But Wales are, Wales a decent team. Gareth Bale hasn't turned up yet. He's been missing some sitters. Ramsey's been good for them. Joe Allen loves to commit a foul or two in the midfield. Ampadu is suspended. But they got a few players.
Suspended. What did he do?
He got a red card.
Did he get a red card in the last one?
Yeah, in the last game, Ampadu got a red card in the 1-0 defeat. Was it 1-0 defeat to Belgium? So
1-0 defeat to Italy.
Was it Belgium? Sorry, Italy. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it was a bit harsh, but he was late, so it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? If you're that late in the challenge, then you're going to get sent off.
I feel sad for Ampadu, bro. I really feel sad for this guy, man. I think this guy's finished, bro.
You think so? At Chelsea?
I mean, look, I don't think he featured for the first couple of games for Wales. Then he comes on against Italy, gets a red card. His loans didn't go as planned.
I can't remember. No, I think he came off the bench one of the games, yeah.
Yeah,
but his loan to Sheffield United and Leipzig just did not go to plan at all. No,
I don't know how you reward all of that by saying, okay, now you start for Chelsea. Do you know what I mean?
No, you can't. You can't. He can't come back in. He can't come back into the first team. For me, he's below the pecking order of Mark Gahey, and he just needs another loan. He's gonna need another loan, another opportunity to prove himself. And if he doesn't, I think this might be his last one as well. His last chance. For me, this season,
it's got to be a good loan, Matisse. It's got to be a good loan, man.
Yeah, I think this next loan is his big one. And obviously the last one was the big one, and so was the last one. So when I mean the big one, I mean like the deciding one. If this one doesn't go according to plan, then you might have to just cut your losses, because there's a lot of upcoming centre backs coming through the ranks. There's a lot.
Yeah, bro.
Do you know what I mean? There's Umba. Do you know what I mean? There's others as well.
What's that new brother? The new
Colwell
brother that
signed a new contract as well. Yeah, Colwell. Everybody's really excited about him. He looks really good as well. I think he's left-footed, ball-playing centre-back as well, 18.
How crazy is the life of a footballer, Matisse, bro? Like, it's just one day you're young and everyone's talking about you, and then all these other brothers come off the academy, and you all of a sudden you become an afterthought. Do you know what I mean? Like, Ampadu is still what? I don't even know if he's 20 yet. Is he 20?
I think he's 20. I think he is. Let me see. 2021. But thing is, for Wales, like I like him for Wales because he does have a lot of responsibility. He plays in the DM position. I think he started the game before and then came off the bench the game before that. But no, 20 years old. So he's still very young. Very young. Same age as Callum Hudson-Odoi. I think all it takes for Ampadu, because I've always believed in his ability. I think all it takes for him is to have a really good loan, playing regular team football. And at this point, I wouldn't mind Ampadu going to the Championship and absolutely blitzing it in the Championship, playing every week. I'd rather him do that than go on loan to another Premier League team and have a very average, abnormal season. I think the next move for Ampadu, he just needs to be playing games. He needs to be playing week in, week out, if that's in the Prem or in the Championship. I think Championship wouldn't be too bad because he's only 20. Then he'll be 21 at the end of his Championship loan, and his stocks will be a lot higher than they are now. If he goes to the Championship and does a great season, then I'd prefer that. I remember when Lampard tried to take him to Derby previously. Yeah. I think that was before he got Tomori.
What position would you want him to play if he goes to a Championship team? Where would you want him to play?
I think if they play a back three, then I think centre back, because I think now I've seen him quite a few times at centre back in a back three. Now he's always looked pretty good. He played there for Leipzig against Tottenham, had a great performance. And this is what I'm talking about. When a player cannot play all that time and still produce a performance like that, they've got something. There's something there.
True.
And then centre back, he played free at the back a few times for Sheffield United as well and was good. But it was a bit up and down with him at Sheffield United. I think if they play a back three, which is unlikely, then I'd say centre back. If they play a back four, then he's going to have to play holding mid, because I don't see his future in a back two, because I just think he's a bit too short. So that would be the ideal scenario for Ampadu. But yeah, you can only hope. It's a shame he's suspended for the Denmark game, and it's a shame Gilmour didn't progress. But everybody else is basically available from a Chelsea perspective. Who should we go on to next? I mean, there's no other better place to go to, I think, than Germany.
Let's do it.
Behind the scenes. It's a bit disappointing against Hungary, isn't it? I mean, I thought you guys were going to absolutely blitz them, but it just didn't happen. 2-2 in the end. Kai got a goal.
Do you know what? When I started watching, and from the get-go, Hungary looked so electric. They were pressing well as a unit. Yeah. This is the thing, man. I mean, Hungary don't... I could I didn't know a single player from Hungary. I could not even recognize a single player. So that just shows how well as a unit that they've played, that it's not always about the names, the individual names. It's about playing as a unit. Especially the guy on the right side, Nego, he was very good, man. He completely took Goossens out of the game. By the way, please, Chelsea fans, I know I'm not being reactionary. It's not that this is the first time I've seen Germany play. I've seen Germany play a few times. Goossens okay. A lot of Chelsea fans want. Yeah, I don't think he's okay.
People have been saying that for a while, to be fair. Even at Atlanta, he's a little bit of a defensive liability.
Look, he's okay. Atlanta, he probably gets away with it and he's fine. But, man, that Nego guy took care of Goossens, man. Goossens was just not in the game one bit. The way he pressed, he stayed really tight on him. And the way Hungary scored, I was not surprised one bit, because one of Germany's biggest flaws, and I've said it all along, man, Matt Hummels, man. Matt Hummels, as great as a defender he is, oh, man, he's, as you said, David Luiz for the Conte era, do you know what I mean? Yeah. Brilliant. But David Luiz overall, at the end of the day, he's error prone, like David Luiz now, right? Yeah. And Matt Hummels is like that at the moment, where he's error prone. He lost his man, and the Hungary guy just came in and headed it in. Fantastic cross, but
9 minutes away from going out.
9 minutes from going out, man. And if it wasn't for Leon Goretzka, and I think Goretzka should have come on a lot earlier, because he showed a lot more intent moving into the box. And that's where I feel like with the whole Toni Kroos and Gundogan, it was just too much sideways stuff, man.
Yeah.
So hopefully against England, man, that it is Leon Goretzka that starts.
Goretzka, for me, is one of the best box-to-box midfielders in the world right now. Like, he's a proper box-to-box mid. There's not many of them out there right now that are actually proper box-to-box mids, but he's one of them. And
he's so good, man. He's so good.
His output in the final third is really strong as well. And he's just one of those players that, like you said, sometimes you need a runner, someone to break beyond the line and not just play in front of the defense, and actually break beyond that and move forward and create that problem. And he's always arriving late on in the box for those shots, or hovering around the box for those shots. So from an England perspective, because obviously we've got to play them next after that win against Czech Republic, man. You man should have drew that game, but anyway. To be fair, I mean, look, England beat Czech Republic 1-0. They drew to Scotland the game before. The whole group has been kind of underwhelming from a football perspective, but in terms of getting the job done, then they've done that. 7 points out of 9. It's not really, it's an easy group.
I mean, as an England fan, from your perspective, you can't really complain because they topped it, but it wasn't the most magical way to top it. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't Italy.
It wasn't Italy. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't Italy, and it was an easy group. So it's move with caution kind of thing. Proceed with caution. From an England perspective, obviously facing Germany is never fun. We don't have the greatest memories from them. The Lampard goal is already flashing back now in my head from the World Cup. Jesus, it was a hot day as well. That's the thing. It was a sticky day. It was a sticky situation we got ourselves into there.
It was a glamorous match, man. I remember, man, Germany was so flying with their attacking style. But, England with Lampard, I'm pretty sure, was it Gerrard, I think, might have started as well in that game. Can't exactly remember. But it was still a very good England team. And I think England was big favourite at that time. Matisse, they had the glamorous team with, pretty sure, Wayne Rooney and all of those guys.
The golden generation.
Yeah. And Germany was a strong side as well.
Yeah, the England games are just so boring though. I'd say Germany were probably still slight favourites now that I think about it, with Neuer in goal, but England are just boring to watch, man. They're so boring. Every single England game, I kid you not, I have fallen asleep every time at some point, and then woken back up. Sterling with the only goals so far in the tournament for the whole team, like no variety in terms of goal output. And the only shining light is that whoever goes through this round have got a favourable side of the draw afterwards. So that really is the only point. Yeah.
You know what I don't understand, Matisse, is you guys have such a good team. I don't understand what I mean.
It's the manager,
I know, I get it, but I mean, surely even he should think, at one point that how can I go wrong if I just play with a bit more flair? I've got the players to do that. Why is it? Do you know what I mean?
I think sometimes athleticism can cover up for a manager's weaknesses in terms of their tactics, because if you had a bit of pace and you had a bit of power, things don't have to be as precise. And I think, take Harry Kane, for instance, world-class striker, but if you're going to play to him, you need to be precise, right? You need to be breaking the lines. You need to be playing to his feet. He's not going to run the channels. He's not particularly quick. And I think the fact that he's not succeeding, a world-class player like that, who's got top goal scorer, top assists in the Premier League, is not succeeding for England and doesn't really seem to have any specific instructions, because he can drop all the way into the back to making it. He makes it a back three miss when he drops in. He drops all the way in between the centre backs to pick up the ball just so he can get a touch. The fact that he's even allowed to do that tells me that he's not getting too much instruction, or again, we're not playing getting the ball to him enough. And the fact that the manager can't get the best out of the likes of him, and even when Sancho usually starts from England, doesn't seem to have his Dortmund days in an England shirt, can't get the best out of him. It just goes to show, when you can't get the best out of your best players, it's the manager. It's the manager for me, because again, it just goes to show there's no clear identity or system. It's just a bit of hope. Do you know what I mean? It's just a bit of hope. That's really is relying on individuals to get the job done.
You know what I'm really looking forward to, Matisse? I want to see how Declan Rice fares against Leon. Hopefully it's Leon Goretzka and Toni Kroos. And I really want to put that test to Declan Rice to see how he manages that, and the runners that's going to be behind him in the likes of Kai Havertz. Hopefully Kai Havertz will. I would love to see Serge Gnabry come on the right side, and I don't want to see Leroy Sané. Leroy Sané stunk up that whole joint. He was so poor. This is the thing. Joachim Löw must think that he's left-footed, so if I have him on the right side, maybe he can do a Ziyech kind of sort of, cut in with his. It doesn't work with every player. Like, every player is not a Ziyech or Arjen Robben that can just cut in from the right. I think Leroy Sané is far better on the left side, because he loves being wide and taking his man on and whipping the cross with his left. So, I'm hoping that it's Kai Havertz, Thomas Muller, and Serge Gnabry on the right side, because Gnabry actually likes coming in on his right, cutting in and whipping the shots. Whereas lately he's been playing more central or on the right side, which I don't think, he's been non-existent as well. So I really want to see how Declan Rice fares with that kind of caliber of players, that are going to be running.
Is he playing Sané out wide, or is he playing him at wing back? Because I know Germany are playing with a back three.
Now, so Kimmich has been playing with.
He's playing right mid, isn't it? So I've got an unhealthy love for Sané, man. I just love that player. I think he's so talented, but he hasn't had the best season domestically, and then with Bayern, and then I think he can play on the right, but he is also very good on the left. Like at Man City, he was deadly on the left. So I think he can play either side, but I just think he's in poor form. If he's in poor form, don't play him. But I do agree with you. I am interested to see how not just Declan Rice, actually that whole midfield actually fare against Germany, even Phillips, because Phillips is a player that's been getting praised, but he's never played against this level of player in Toni Kroos and Gundogan, if Goretzka plays as well. So that's a big step for him now, because if he wants a big move from Leeds, he's going to have to show that he can play against these Champions League level players. Chilwell, from a Chelsea perspective, doesn't look like he's going to get any game time, because and I don't think it doesn't even make sense to even play him now. Luke Shaw's been playing. So when you've got 0 minutes under your belt at this point in the competition, unless there's an injury,
you can't start. You just can't start.
It's going to be too rusty. Yeah.
Probably Reece James. Would you? They're saying England going to revert back to a 3 now, then match up Germany here, or they're going to continue with the 4?
I have no idea what Southgate's going to do, to be honest. I'm actually quite surprised that he's playing the back 4 in general. I actually expected him to come into this tournament with a back 3, because that's what he was doing previously. So the fact that he came in with a back 4 was kind of refreshing. Will he switch it for this game? I would be shocked, because I think the whole reason why, for instance, he's been, and I'm trying to give him some, because I give Southgate a lot of slack, trying to give him some sort of reason as to why he's been playing Phillips and Rice. I think he's just kind of tried to make the assumption he's going to qualify from this group, and then he's going to come up against difficult games, and he wants there to be some sort of connection between Phillips and Rice, because Henderson's been injured, and those are his only deep deep midfielders that he can play. Otherwise, it's a bit too attacking for a team like Germany as well. You probably are best going with 2 DMs. So that's probably why he's been playing Phillips and Rice this whole time, trying to struck up some relationship, and he probably played him again. Going forward,
see Gary Cahill's Gary Neville's team. He's opted with the 3 at the back for England.
Did he? I didn't see his team actually. No, so he's got with the 3 at the back.
He tweeted it out. He tweeted it out, and Jack Wilshere wasn't happy at all. He's like, because he's got up front, he's got Sterling, Kane, and Saka, and Jack Wilshere retweeted with a quote saying, "How could you not play Foden or Grealish up front?" Like, it's pretty insane.
I think Grealish does need to play because England do struggle to create opportunities, and he's the only person. Him and Foden. Sancho can create chances as well, but again, I don't think Southgate really gets the best out of him. But Grealish, Foden hasn't been great so far in this tournament. I would actually reward Saka for his performance. I think Saka was really good. But I think Grealish has definitely got to play. And Sterling's got the only goals, so Sterling's probably going to play as well. I think, yes, Kane is the best player on paper, but he hasn't been playing well so far. And like I said, it's not, we haven't been playing to his strengths. I don't really see that just suddenly changing for the German game. He did have a really good chance as well against Czech Republic. They didn't quite take. I wouldn't even be against England going with pace up front and going with the Chelsea model of Timo Werner up front. A Timo Werner type player, like some just in terms of just having some pace
or something.
Like a Sterling or Rashford, just some pace, just to have some movement up front. Do you know what I mean? And then you just hit them in the channels and try and stretch them because it's something different.
France many a times almost did Germany. Do you know what I mean? Last minute tackles from many German defenders. Like Mbappe's pace was just too much. Yeah. I know Rashford's probably not Mbappe type of pace, but still he's very pacey. So that's definitely a shout, man. 100%.
Like even if you get Sterling in a false 9 position, get him running in behind, and don't even use him as a striker. Use him as a Werner who runs in behind, runs out into the channels, and then he's out wide for the final part of the build-up because you've hit him in the channel. That way you can sneak Sancho into the left wing position, get Saka in the right wing position, and get Grealish in the 10 with the 2 DMs. It's not the most potent because there's no striker, but it's a very fluid front 3 or front 4. And there's a lot of chances there. There's a lot of pace, 1v1 ability, and it means that you can move teams about, you can move defenses about, and you're creating problems. So I'd probably go with that, to be honest, and leave Kane for the bench. This could go to extra time as well. You could bring Kane on later on. And also, people haven't really taken into account, Kane might not be fully fit. Do you know what I mean? He's played a lot of games this year for Tottenham. He might be feeling it. Do you know what I mean? He might be feeling the pace of it. So that's something else to bear in mind. So yeah, I mean, I only suggested Rashford because I needed pace, guys. I would prefer Sterling up there. Or even, I mean, you brought Watkins. You may as well use him. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, is Watkins in the squad as well?
Watkins is there, is he not? Is Watkins not there? I'm pretty sure he is. He didn't bring Greenwood. I wanted Greenwood to be in the team. In the squad. You didn't bring Greenwood. I would have preferred Greenwood. So didn't bring Greenwood. So you may as well use. This is your opportunity to use someone. Use something.
Hey, you know what? It doesn't matter who you guys bring in, bro. Rudiger is gonna lock it all up, bro. Rudiger will lock things up. I'm sure he'll be thriving to play the English boys. Do you know what I mean? So I can't wait for that.
He's not in the squad. He's not in the squad. So who's up front then? It's Calvert-Lewin, and who else then? Greenwood was injured. Okay, fair enough then.
Sancho.
Rashford. Yeah, I guess Rashford is your third choice striker then. Didn't take Bamford, which was not really a surprise, to be fair. So yeah, interesting. But again, from an England perspective, we'll just have to pray because Germany are favourites, and that's it really. Do you know what I mean? I'm not confident going into the game, but we'll see what happens. It would be fun if you got the win, but I'm not gonna live and die by the sword of England at all. I haven't since Lampard scolded and crossed the line. Don't plan on doing it now. I've got the shirt on. I hope I'll be cheering you guys on. But am I going to get super emotionally invested right now in this stage of the competition? Nah, because you man are not going to stress me out. You're not Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? You're not Chelsea. You're not going to stress me out.
But you know what, Matisse? There'll be some key battles. Like I want to see how because Rudiger would know Mason Mount's game. Do you know what I mean? The way he presses, the way he applies the pressure up front, trying to win the ball up front. I'm pretty sure he'll be pressing from that side as well, from that right side, unless he plays on the left. It'll be interesting to see how Rudiger fares up on some of these English boys because, let's be honest, a lot of the English media will be watching this, and we know exactly how English media rolls around with Rudiger. So he'll probably want to prove a point here, which will be interesting to see as well, man. 100%. Yeah. And Kai Havertz, Timo Werner, if he scores against England,
he's not playing, is he?
He doesn't play. He hasn't been starting, but
he doesn't really. I don't think he deserves to. From what I saw from the last international break, where he missed that opportunity against Macedonia, I think that after that, Lowe was just like.
It just doesn't fit as well, Matisse. Like, because you've got Gnabry and Leroy Sané, so they're a lot more clinical up front when there is an opportunity. Whereas Timo is just proper pace and blitz, and he's off the bench. As a super sub, he's
pace.
He's a good factor to have. Even Musiala, the Chelsea boy. He's shown pretty good, impressions as well, man. So, I'm confident, man. I'm confident Germany will do the number here. Hopefully, the only issue I have here is Germany does have an issue with Matt Hummels, and they do press high up. So if England can break quick and single out Matt Hummels,
this is where I'm thinking to go with pace. I might actually do a watch-along for that England-Germany game. I don't do watch-alongs for the Euros so far, but it's tempting because that game is just going to be crazy. Whatever happens, it's going to be drama. Also, from a Germany perspective as well, Kai Havertz, obviously he's been scoring some goals. Has anybody started to feel like if we don't get a striker, we can use him up front and get away with it next season? Because he's getting goals. For me personally, we still need a striker, but he's getting goals. He's getting some goals.
You know what, Matisse? Last week we were talking about Hakimi, and we were literally saying, get ready to draft up, your tweets, get ready to get the streams ready and whatnot. And this week, Hakimi's gone. He's PSG. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I'm not really sure how we are going to get Haaland. I think this is going to be a very, very difficult shout for us to get Haaland. So we could possibly be just ending up with Timo Werner and Kai Havertz, leading the line for us. So, Kai can score the goals, but I'm just not confident where he's going to be able to score 20-plus Premier League goals and lead the line, not be injured, stay fit. I just don't know if he's ready for that type of a demand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For Germany, so far has been doing a job, but then Germany's got, a lot of firepower up front. As I said, Leroy Sané, Serge Gnabry, Muller, Timo Werner comes off the bench as well. So
international football is different from club football as well, isn't it? We're starting to see that quite clearly from some of these.
Very different. So I still think we need a striker, but man, don't be surprised if we
don't get one. I'm not going to lie. If we don't get one, this transfer window has been a failure. It's been a failure, massive failure. When you win the Champions League and you don't bring in a position where you are weakest and quite clearly the weakest as well, failure of a window. So for me, you have to get a striker. Can't go into next season with this current strike force. Alex says, is it coming home or the players going home? I think the players are going home, if I'm being honest.
Just on the transfers, man, honestly, I would feel very down for Thomas Tuchel not to be able to get one of his own players. Like, this current team is something that he's inherited. It's not something that he's sort of created himself. So even if it's one player, but it's got to be a main target. It can't be like a secondary player. Do you know what I mean? It's got to be a main target. I don't know, man. I don't know how Haaland happens, and I'm not sure how Lukaku happens, and I'm not sure how Kane happens. And besides them three, Lewandowski though, is he a shout?
Is that a proper link? Because I've seen a few people talking about that yesterday. Build. See, these guys are very hot and cold over at Build. Much love to you, but 1 minute you're telling me Mason Mount doesn't want Kai to join, and then next minute you're telling me this, that, and the third. It's just very hot and cold of you guys. If it is, okay, so I'll just take it as a concrete link for now, because they should know about German transfers being a German outlet. Would I take? 100%. I'm taking Lewandowski. We can't afford to be picky. I mean, we're in a situation where Haaland's a very difficult deal to get done, but I can still hope that it can get done. Lukaku's a difficult deal to get done, but I would hope that we could get it done. I still haven't given up on that one completely, because I think after the Euros, if you was to put in a bid, maybe again it's going to take a lot, but it's a hope. It's the hope that kills you.
And Inter, they're doing a bit of dirty on us. So.
Inter Milan are proving a menace to deal with at the moment anyway, so maybe that one's way less likely anyway. But if Lewandowski, if the opportunity to take Lewandowski arises, which I would be surprised, because I think the only way Lewandowski leaves Bayern Munich is if Haaland replaces Lewandowski at Bayern Munich, and I think Bayern Munich would rather replace Lewandowski with Haaland next window when Haaland's available for his get out clause. So that's why I don't see Lewandowski leaving. But if Lewandowski was to leave and we was to take him, I would definitely take him. 32 years old, take him for 2 seasons like a Drogba, and then try and address the problem again later. It's a short-term solution, but I would prefer bringing in a world-class striker for the short term, like Thiago Silva, 2 years for the short term, then bringing in someone who's not good enough and being stuck with them for the long term. Look at Batshuayi. Batshuayi's still here. We didn't take the 60 million from Dortmund when he had that great season out there. We didn't take the 40 million. We asked for 60, and now we still can't get rid of him for like 15. Do you know what I mean? So this is what happens when you buy the wrong players.
Now he's probably just going to run the contract down, because I'm not even sure whether there's any suitors for Batshuayi. But Lewandowski with players like Havertz and Mason Mount in and around him, wow, that would
I'd love it. Love it.
That would be good.
I'll take that. Like, there's for me, like, everybody's obviously your opinion, whatever, but I don't see a Chelsea fan that can turn their nose up at Lewandowski. There's no way. I just can't see it. I can't see how you can turn your nose up at him with the problems that we have and the lack of options in the market. I don't know how you could turn your nose up at him, regardless of how old he is. I couldn't see it.
The man banged in 40 goals last season. Do you know what I mean? You can say Bundesliga, but even then, every league, there's a limit to how much damage you can do. And literally, this guy's just done a massacre on that particular league. Do you know what I mean? So,
and he performs in the Champions League as well. He's built like a brick as well. All those Bayern players are built. So
solid as, and he's a clever player, man. He's so clever.
Very clever.
He would be perfect for Mason Mount, Havertz, Timo, Ziyech if he stays. We need a striker, man. I'd be so upset if we start the season with just Timo and Kai. I mean, would you keep Tammy then? Like, would you let go of Tammy?
Tammy's not part of Tuchel's plans. So if we have to keep Tammy, we failed Tuchel. Simple. We failed him. If we have to keep Tammy next season, we've legit failed Tuchel, because it's very clear that Tuchel doesn't really rate Tammy. So he wants to get in a new striker. So Tammy shouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? If we're really backing this manager, Tammy being here would be the clear indication that we did not back this manager properly in the summer window. That would be like, everybody could talk about wing backs and whatnot, but Chelsea manager and Chelsea board are always going to have to collaborate on deals. And it's not every single player that the Chelsea manager wants that he's going to get. We know this. So there's no point pretending just because he's won a Champions League that things are going to change. Chelsea manager and Chelsea board always have to collaborate on deals. And sometimes the manager gets exactly what he wants, and sometimes the club disagrees. And it's fair enough, fair game. Sarri wanted that right back from Napoli. What's his name? Hajj or something.
Hajj or something.
I'm not good at pronouncing names. Give me that name and it's a problem. He wanted him reportedly, and Reece James was the brother that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not looking back. So it's not like at wing back we don't have options. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I would have loved to have got Hakimi because he's a top player, and I think he would have just brought a whole dynamic to our attack that we don't have. But it's not as pivotal as a striker. If we don't get a striker, we are in the mud. Like, we are not winning the Premier League without a striker. I'm telling you that now. No chance.
Unless Timo
dropping.
starts banging in the ones that he's missed.
I just don't want to see him in that role, Miz. Again,
true.
Just not. He just doesn't have, like, take Lukaku for instance at Belgium, rolling defenders with that strength, being able to just suck in the ball and just turn and finish. That's just something that Timo Werner can't do. He just doesn't have he doesn't have that presence, and you need that presence in the Premier League at times. Or you need to be a Sergio Aguero who's got low sense of gravity, a very good touch, can weave in and out of players. He can't do either of that. When you don't have the physical strength to roll players like a Lukaku does, or you don't have that clinical finishing to your game that we haven't seen from last season, and then you don't have the low sense of gravity to bob and weave like a Luis Suarez or an Aguero, he's relying on his pace, and that's fine. Yeah. But you do that in the left channel. Do you know what I mean? Do that against high lines, but to do that every single week when we've got low blocks to come up against, I'm not here for it. So we need to bring in a new striker. If we don't bring in a new striker, we're not going to win the Premier League next season.
And you know what, Matisse? I don't want any secondary striker like there's some that Swedish guy, Isak.
Oh, Isak.
I mean,
he's very young. He's only 21, man. He's only 21.
Yeah, so much pressure to lead the line and, let the man sort of build up a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? I just don't. I saw your stream yesterday, and you were saying that he's more of a Dortmund sort of like get him to Dortmund, and then maybe we can get Haaland. And it's true. Yeah. He probably deserves to go to Dortmund now, banging the goals, and then move on to your next big thing.
Yeah, it's actually not quite there clinical wise. I think he's just got to keep improving his finishing. In general play, got loads of skill, great touch, really good on the ball, great on the eye. But in terms of just your finishing, from what I've seen in the tournament so far, just needs to refine his finishing a bit more. He's too young. Like to go from Real Sociedad to Chelsea, that's just suicide. There's just no way in hell that happens. It's not even an age thing because Haaland's younger than him. It's literally just from a development standpoint. There's just no need to even try and get that done. You need to get a world-class striker who's got experience at the top level for a few seasons, who knows what they're doing. So yeah, from that perspective, Miz, man, I'm worried as hell. Are you?
Bro,
do you think we can win the league without bringing in a striker? Because for me, I'm ready to go on record. If we don't bring in a striker, we're not winning the league. Especially when I'm seeing Man City dropping £100 million bids for Harry Kane.
Bro, as soon as Man City announces Harry Kane, and then we don't have a striker, it's battle for top 4 again, Matisse. We're going to be, do you know what I mean? Like, can we make top 4? And you think Liverpool are just going to chill out? They're not going to allow that season again. Do you know what I mean? They're going to try and do something about it. And they're very smart. Do you know what I mean? They got themselves Diego Jota last season. Yeah. I'm sure they're probably going to do something this season again. I'm worried.
They've already signed the centre-back. They're the only big club to do business, actually, so far from Leipzig, Kunte.
And Ibrahim Konate is a decent centre-back as long as he can stay fit.
Yeah, if he can stay fit, yeah.
Look, I've got no issues with our team defensively or in midfield. Up front, we need someone who's going to bang in the goals, man. We need a lethal striker, or else we're just going to have to hope for, one, Timo Werner to start pumping in all the missed chances that he's had, or two, somehow Kai Havertz evolves himself into this monster of a number 9 player where he gallops down the field and he's headering the ball in and he's taking on defenders, he's turning them inside out, and he's, that sort of thing doesn't happen over one season. That takes time to develop, as a youngster. So, man, if we don't get ourselves a striker, I just can't see how we challenge for the title, man. I'll be absolutely honest.
People saying Man City won it without a striker. Man City are the one team in world football that can do that right now, and I think that's purely down to Pep. Do you know what I mean? I don't think I'm ready. Like, love Tuchel, world-class manager, just won the Champions League, but is he on Pep's level from an attacking coaching standpoint? Not yet. Not yet.
Just that. Give us a KDB. Give us a KDB.
Pep, exactly. Pep is in a league of his own when it comes to organising attacking play and attacking structure. He's got a situation where he hasn't got a striker and he can put Kevin De Bruyne up front and he can get goals, or he can put Gundogan up front and get goals. Like, that's not normal. That tells me, that's someone that's got something else going on in terms. This is the same manager that got a 20-goal Premier League season, I think, out of Raheem Sterling or whatever it was in all comps. Yeah. Loads of goals from Raheem Sterling those seasons. Like, Pep from an attacking structure point of view just gets his team. He just gets his team playing a different way, carving out opportunities that most teams can't carve out, and putting away those tap-ins. So I think when it comes to that, he's in a league of his own. And like you said, they have De Bruyne, and we don't have De Bruyne. De Bruyne's the best player in the Premier League. You know, he is
playmaker. He can find the assist out of nowhere. Can bang in a shot out of nowhere. His presence is an aura for that particular team. And now they've got Foden is building up nicely. I know he hasn't been absolutely electric for England so far, but he's come close with that left foot. It's just, I don't think, once again, he's suited on the right side. I think Foden's another player that, with his left foot, is far more comfortable being on the left, much like Leroy Sané. So, our wingers, as great as they've been, it's not like they bang in the goals. Do you know what I mean? Like our inside forwards, let's just say. So, it's a long way to go.
He did this at Barcelona as well, playing Cesc up front. Really good reminder there. In the false nine. He had too many midfielders. He couldn't get Cesc in the team, so he put him up front. And Spain then adopted that as well and put Cesc up front. Do you know what's so funny about Pep? Is despite his criticisms for not winning the Champions League, every single country he's gone to, they've won the World Cup, and they've placed their whole footballing identity on him. Do you know what I mean? Or they built off of his success from a club level. He does what he does at Spain. Spain win the World Cup. Does what he does in Germany. Germany win the World Cup. Comes to England, and let's have it right. More teams in England play out from the back than ever before.
100.
More teams. Now that Pep's come to England, more teams play out from the back. Pep has changed English football. He has. Do you know what I mean? Maybe
Brighton plays from the back. Brighton builds up. Do you know what I mean? Southampton builds up.
Yeah. Wenger changed English football. Mourinho changed English football. Conte changed it for a season to a much lesser extent. But Pep has changed English football. Like, since he's got here, the teams, the way teams try and play the game in English football now is way more technically, astute than they used to. We used to have Owen Coyle and Alan Kirbishley and you know what I mean? All these guys, Steve Bruce.
Alan Kirbishley.
Bro. We used to have all these guys in this league just try and play hoofball Bolton and Blackburn and Stoke with Rory Delap. The Premier League has come a long way, man. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, Rory Delap used to throw the long throw-ins. That's how deep it was. Not even the hoop. It was the long throw-ins.
Coaches. And who do you think inspired these boards to bring in these coaches and turn away from the coaches that they used to go for in the lower parts of the league? The lower part of the league used to always be about survival. It used to always be about survival. Bring in Allardyce, bring in Bruce, bring in Owen Coyle, bring in Alan Kirbishley, bring in Neil Warnock, bring in all these guys because it was always about survival. Now they're trying to play football, even in the lower half of the league. Do you know what I mean? Tim Sherwood, Ian Dow. That's what it is. That's what it is. I can keep going. Do you know what I mean? Now
some top names.
Now you've got Bielsa, first season in Premier playing. Do you know what I mean? That used to be rare. I think only really Blackpool do I remember them coming up and really trying to do a madness under Ian Holloway. They used to play some exciting stuff, but
Eddie Howe was good. Eddie Howe was
Eddie Howe.
I think he was before the Pep time as well.
Yeah. But Pep has definitely had an influence on this league, and there's more technical players coming through as well now, which is great. But England, just the only difference is that on an international level, they're just not as serious as Spain and Germany were back then. Do you know what I mean? They just don't have that final piece of the jigsaw to push them over the line. Because I personally think this England team on paper, the defense is very weak. Centre back wise and goalkeeper wise, but apart from that, they should be up there with contenders for the Euros in the tournament on paper. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They've got a great attack technically. Midfield is very strong as well. They should be at least competing. They should be like in Italy. Do you know what I mean? Italy are not complete. They haven't got the most ridiculous array of attacking talents, but they get the job done. They play great football because they've got a plan. Do you know what I mean?
That's the thing, man. It's the manager, man. Mancini, you just know he's such a tactician inside. He's just, he's sort of all worked it out nicely, exactly the patterns of play it's going to be, how we're going to open. That Locatelli goal for the second game for Italy, who did they play? How Locatelli stole the ball from midfield. One touch passes it to, I think it was this other brother from
Switzerland.
Yeah, Switzerland. how Locatelli one-touch passed it to this other player from Sassuolo,
Yeah.
and then that guy, dribbles, arrows in, and then puts in the pass in the box, and then it's Locatelli box to box, runs in and taps it in. That was wonderful to watch. Do you know what I mean? And
they've been the best team this tournament.
And you know what, Matisse? You think about it and you go, how are they able to do that? They're not even the big names like Sancho's or the Sterlings or Rice and the Mason Mounts and whatnot of the English team. How are they able to do that? It's, as you said, it's the coach. The coach has worked it out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. There's no excuse from England in this tournament. There's no excuse. There's no excuse from England in this tournament. If they go out to Germany, we're just not good enough. We're not good enough. So there's no excuses. I think England have got more than enough quality to at least compete in this tournament.
Sure,
France are the clear and away favourites. And then teams like Italy, Germany, England, if they were serious in brackets, they should all be looking to do so. They should be looking to do something. But let's go through. I mean, before we go back to the Euros, Gilmour is apparently going out on loan to Norwich. That was reported by The Athletic. Falk is the manager of Norwich, isn't he? German manager. I had it in my head of a Leeds. Would have been one of my ones for Bielsa. That would have been interesting, but can't complain with Falk and Norwich. Falk is obviously someone that Tuchel knows. Both German managers. What do you make of it? We don't know how Norwich are going to approach the Premier League, do we? So it's one of those ones where it's difficult to really say. But would you be happy with Billy going on loan to Norwich?
I wouldn't mind, because Norwich last time when they were in the Premier League, they were actually trying to play football. They were trying to play attacking style of football. Play out from the back. Have the nice passes. I still remember they had a pretty mad match against us last season under Frank Lampard, if you remember, where Tammy Abraham, I think, scored a brace as well. So it was a pretty mad match. They got I think there was a stage where there might have been a head as well. I could be wrong, maybe. But, Timo Pukki, I think that's his name. He scored a goal. That brother. So, look, I think as long as Billy gets regular minutes, Matisse, that's the number one thing for me. I think it would suit him, that kind of a team. And going for a player like Billy makes me think Norwich wants to play football, wants to hold the ball a lot. Yeah. And they see Billy being a particular player that is quite capable of doing that and stringing the passes and finding their players like Timo Pukki, and I'm pretty sure Cantwell still plays for them. So Max Aaron's, I think Max Aaron's probably going to leave, but like a player like Billy gives me the vibe that Norwich wants to hold the ball and wants to be able to pull the strings from midfield. So I think it's a fantastic move. Honestly, personally, would have loved him to stay, because I thought after that performance for Scotland against England, I thought, do you know what I mean? Like, he might have just convinced Tuchel that perhaps he's the fourth choice midfielder and he wouldn't get the minutes. But now it makes me think, what do you do now, Matisse? Like, if
I'm happy for him to go, I'm happy. Yeah.
I mean, do we replace? Do we get someone new? Or
yeah.
A lot of people are saying Ruben Loftus-Cheek or Bakayoko.
No. Nope. I was agreeing with you. I was like, no. Listen, Chelsea just won the Champions League. The Champions League. Why are we now bringing in caster sides? And no, respectfully, no. Loftus-Cheek did not do enough at Fulham to come back into this Chelsea first team. And by the way, he's not what we are looking for. We're looking for a sitter. That's what we're actually looking for. I think Chelsea fans have forgotten what we're looking for. You can bring in whatever midfielder you want, but we're meant to be looking for a certain type of midfielder, because we're lacking from weaknesses that we saw during the season why he wasn't consistent throughout the whole season. So for us to now just be taking whoever, it doesn't really make any sense to me, because we was meant to be quite dead set on a certain profile of midfielder. Now, Kova and Kante in different ways are ball carriers and like to roam and be quite mobile. And Jorginho is the only sitter in the squad. And you guys are talking about Loftus-Cheek. Is Loftus-Cheek a sitting midfielder? Is he? Is Loftus-Cheek in the chat a sitting midfielder?
It's a box to box, man. I said it, man. He doesn't fit this system.
Is he? No, he's not. So we need to get a sitting midfielder. So because then when there's gaps in between the lines next season, or there's injuries, Loftus-Cheek is not going to save us, is he? When we need to defend or we don't have the ball, and then suddenly Kevin De Bruyne's getting in the pockets in January and people are at AFCON. What then? Do you know what I mean? I'm not interested in the fairy tale story anymore. He didn't do enough at Fulham. I think he needs to get another loan, to be honest. I really do. Or he can be sold. But I think that link with Sarri to Lazio,
perfect.
That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. I wanted a loan move to Lazio with an option to buy, or an obligation to buy. I don't really mind. But yeah, I think on loan to Lazio, join up with Sarri or sell him, and let's get who we need to bring in. We need a midfielder, whether that's Tuchel or whoever. We need a midfielder. We need to bring in. If Gilmour goes out on loan, we have to sign a midfielder. We
have to replace,
because
it's literally
it just got weaker.
Kante, Kovacic, Jorginho. Besides Jorginho, Kante and Kova, they've got injury issues at times. So they're not going to last the whole season. Somewhere along the way, they could probably get injured and not play. And then you're really letting Jorginho just burn out. So we have to, now that Billy's most likely going on a loan, man, I don't know if you saw that. Like, there's legit sort of talks. I think it was Guardian, forgot that guy's name, the journalist from the Guardian. Anyway, and they were saying that apparently Thomas Tuchel is ready to have a look into Bakayoko and Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Do you know what I mean? So just scares me. It scares me.
Loftus-Cheek, you can take a look, but he's not a holding midfielder. So even if he does stay, we still don't have a holding midfielder. So we still don't have what we need. Unless we're going to play him in the pivot, and Loftus-Cheek's going to change his game to become more defensive, and he's going to use his physical stature to impose himself on the game and be physically imposing and just defend and not really move forward, which is not really the Loftus-Cheek that I remember. And I don't think that's his strength, is to just sit. He's not that type of midfielder for me. He's definitely more box to box. But Bakayoko, I don't want to see at all. Respectfully, I'm done. Do you know what? With me again, we just won the Champions League. Why are we downgrading? Why are we even talking about these players? If we had just had a shocking season, these players would be, if anything, more likely to get in, because our stature in Europe would have fallen. We would have been less, we would have been at a weaker position in the transfer market, because maybe players don't want to come to us if we finish outside Champions League positions or we had a really bad season. And maybe we'd have to take stock of what we've got and try and move forward, because we weren't the European giant. We just won the Champions League. We should be able to bring in any player we want. What is this talk about keeping players that have had average or awful seasons and trying to change their career? I'm not interested in trying to change nobody's career. I'm interested in trying to win. You change your own career. Go out on loan and change your own career. Do your own thing. Go and fix up your own self. Fix up your own damn self. As they would say at work, not on my time. Not on my time. Do that shit on your own time. Go and fix your own career on your own time.
We have trophies to win, man. We've got trophies to win.
Are we not taking this seriously? We got Thomas Tuchel in his second season. If this goes well, this is an opportunity for some longevity to actually, do you know what I mean? To actually push forward now into a third season. This is the make or break season, though, because every top manager we have, this is the make or break season. Always the second season. Always.
It's the second season.
Conte, Ancelotti, it's always the second season. And these brothers are talking about Bakayoko and whatnot. Come on now, man. Come on. Don't be silly, man.
But you know what the crazy part is? Like, if it is Declan Rice being the number one target for Thomas Tuchel, apparently that's what all the top journalists are talking about. Once again, we're not leaving ourselves enough time to do this transaction. Like, Declan Rice is not someone that West Ham is just going to give away so cheaply. It's a big deal, big money transfer. And literally, Matisse, how many weeks are we away from preseason? We're at the end of June.
But the Euros are slowing up all the big deals right now, I think. So we're just going to have to suck it up. And when the Euros is over, we're going to have to go ham. Like,
I think preseason. Pre-season's in about like 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah, but this is what the Euros does. It ruins everything. But all I know is that when the Euros come to an end, we're going to have to go absolutely crazy. This brother here at the bottom of my screen should be released. Don't give him a loan. Don't give him no more beer. Nothing. Just release him. Just release him. Like, just fully release him. He should actually just be released. This guy...
I can't believe he's still got a contract.
The fact that he's picking up a weekly wage at my football club disgusts me. Honestly,
criminal.
It's criminal. And I remember calling it out from the beginning. I knew when he was going to be this type of joke, man. I called it from the moment that he started posting on Instagram on those stories with his head in different little filters. Like, I just knew he was not serious about life in general. I knew it. I knew he was going to be this guy. I knew it. Knew it. And he's, it's mad. Let me know.
I can't, you know what? For his own sake, I hope all that money that he's collected, that he's looked after his future. I hope he hasn't blown it to the sense where the contract finishes and then he's got no money to look forward to. Because he cleaned up. He literally cleaned up.
I don't care what he's done. He cost us a bag of money and he's been an absolute waste. He's been probably Chelsea's worst side in their history.
Ever.
40 million M's and he's done nothing. At least you can say Morata had a good start and he got goals and he was a flop, but you know,
at least he's done something. He's done something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Danny Drinkwater has done nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. Worst side in our history. Period. Worst. No one comes to it.
This absolute spoon must be Spoon, Knife and Forks cousin or something. That's probably why he's coming up with that comment. But someone says Gilaboji. Do you remember that one, Matisse?
Yeah.
Gilaboji?
He didn't cost a lot. Him and Michael Hector didn't cost a lot, to be fair. I don't know how the hell these brothers walked in the door still to this day, man. We are some joke. We're some joke man club sometimes. We're actually a joke.
Do we still have that American as well, Matisse? That
Bruce Buck?
No. The defender, the American defender.
Yeah, Miazga. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's still here.
Miazga. Miazga. Is he still there?
Yeah. No, do you know what? People are saying Kepa's worse. Kepa's not worse because he's got a Europa League trophy under his belt.
Bro, Kepa's done madness in that Europa League.
Yeah, he had a good season. Got Europa League. I'm telling you, Drinkwater is the worst. You won't be able to find another brother that costs that much money and has no accomplishments to his name. None.
Yeah,
I challenge you in the chat. Keep bringing up names. I dare you.
Lucas Piazon has been better, I would say, than Danny Drinkwater.
Again,
you know what I mean?
They have to cost a lot though, because if they didn't cost a lot, then how can they be the worst signing ever if they didn't even cost anything? Like you can't mention Pato on loan and Higuain. These brothers didn't keep us up at night because they didn't cost us anything. I'm talking about people that we actually spent money on and got big wages and didn't do nothing.
Yeah. At least Bakayoko, as bad as he's been for us, he's gone into loans and he's impressed Milan, he's impressed Napoli. Do you know what I mean? Like he's done something.
We've been claiming loan fees. Drinkwater, we've got no money back from that.
Drinkwater, what he has impressed is taking other people's girlfriends, fighting in the bar, brawling, taking naked pics in Greece or wherever he's been. You know, I mean, he's taking the mick, man. He's absolutely
Bakayoko, we've actually reclaimed a bit of that money on loan fees. I think
on loans,
loan fees. We've been charging like 10 million a loan or something. So I'm telling you, man, there's no one worse. When you're getting kicked out of Burnley, I can't help.
Disgusting.
So the fixtures. So obviously Portugal France was one hell of a game as well. That was straight madness. That Group F was just nuts in general, wasn't it? It was just crazy.
Bro, Hungary was good as well, man. I can't believe that Group F, man. Had Hungary been any other group, bro, they would have qualified.
They probably would have.
They would have.
So the fixtures in the round of 16 are Wales versus Denmark, Italy versus Austria. Sorry, that's an English Australia.
All of a sudden, they're in Europe.
I would have loved that, man. Can you imagine Tim Cahill doing it up for the man?
I love it, bro.
The Netherlands versus Czech Republic, Belgium.
Hey,
versus
what's your thoughts on Netherlands, man? They're all right.
They're all right. They're a decent team. They're just outsiders, aren't they? I think they've got a good midfield with Wijnaldum, De Jong. De Jong's been very good. Really impressed with him, but he's a top player as well.
Fullback or right winger, Dumfries or left?
Dumfries, Dumfries is at right wing back. You've got
Memphis Depay's
Memphis Depay.
He's been doing all right.
They're a decent team, but I don't think they'll have enough to challenge for anything in terms of winning it. But they've been on the downer, so this is kind of like them just trying to revive themselves again. I think when Van Dijk is back fit for them in the next tournament, him and De Ligt, if they can strike up a partnership, they could have one of the best centre-back pairings in the world if they can get it right. Belgium versus Portugal, that is going to be a game. That's probably the game of the round, if I'm being honest. Just above England, Germany, because England would be good as well. War fests, but Belgium and Lukaku versus Ruben Diaz. Oh my god!
Eden Hazard versus Ronaldo.
De Bruyne versus Bruno Fernandes. Oh my god!
By the way, Bruno Fernandes, is he even in this Euros? Like,
but when you drop him deeper and take him off penalty duty, not a lot happens, isn't it?
I'm starting to think. Is he as good as what we really?
I didn't say shit.
Me neither. Sorry. When I say we, I didn't say it either.
This guy. I'm not.
A lot of people rate this guy a lot. Big teams, he's never there. He's a
very good player, but he's a stat padder to the hills, man. And people will be like, oh well, penalties. Well, penalties count. Yeah, they do count. But if you take a brother off penalties, what do they bring? Because I know what Lampard was bringing without penalties. I know what Gerrard was bringing without penalties. I know what De Bruyne's bringing without his penalties.
And you know what,
and these are all the people that he's been compared to. So
and you know what? Questions. Even with the penalty, he copied Jorginho. He couldn't bring his own technique. He copied Jorginho. The brother's copying everyone. So,
yeah. When you tell a midfielder to play midfield, it gets very sticky icky. Do you know what I mean? It becomes very sticky. Like, look at the range of passing from Pogba for France. Do you know what I mean? That's just something that Bruno cannot eclipse. And this is the difference. Like, Bruno might be a goal getter and a clutch player, and he can turn up in moments where you need a goal, and that's fantastic. He's on penalties, and he's very reliable from the spot, and it's great. It's fantastic. And I don't want to take away from that because it's a very good thing to have, and I love the shithousery. However, just being a top footballer, creating opportunities in open play, scoring goals from open play on a regular basis, keeping your team, just doing what Modric did for Croatia the other day against Scotland. Just doing things. This is the difference now. This is where the big boys come to play. When your team needs you against the Yellow Submarines, like I said, you weren't there. So stat padding against Brighton when the full-time whistle's blown and scoring penalties is lovely. And like I said, you're a very good Premier League player, and you're gonna pick up many Man of the Match awards and many Player of the Month awards. But it doesn't make you of the level of a Lampard or a De Bruyne or a Gerrard. And these comparisons they should never have even been running in the first place.
I like that comment. Someone put in Renato Sanches greater than Bruno Fernandes. I think Sanches, I've seen some clips, he's starting to look like that old Renato Sanches, that 18-year-old.
Technically, like from a technical standpoint, Renato Sanches is probably better. Do you know what I mean? Like he's dribbling, passing. Like he's just got way more. He's got way more weapons to his game. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He just does. He's just Bayern Munich again. I keep telling people this. Bayern Munich's scouting is A1. They don't usually get it wrong. So if they wanted Renato Sanches, and it didn't work out, it doesn't mean he's not great. He's not got something there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that he's not got something there. It didn't work out from a Bayern Munich, and he had to go, drop down a peg to get it together. But look at him for Lille. Was it Lille that he plays for, isn't it? They won the league.
Yeah, now and they won the league. They won the league. And Sanches was amazing.
Yeah,
the Swansea deal killed him. That was not the right thing to do. Because he wanted minutes. He didn't want to just hang around in Bayern Munich. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you look at him in Lille. It's not a small thing that Lille has gone ahead of PSG and won that league. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
It's a huge thing. Renato Sanches has been a baller from day one when he first broke onto the scene. So. Yeah, but like I said, if Bayern Munich are interested in you, they've done their homework. They see something. So yeah, that game's going to be great. Who do you think is going to win that game? Is actually between Belgium and Portugal.
It's got to be Belgium, bro. Just too much. Lukaku will be the biggest difference maker. Then you got KDB and Eden Hazard. If anything, the Belgium defense worries me. That's about it.
Yeah.
If Portugal can show up, then perhaps.
Yeah. Then you've got Croatia, Spain. Spain, man. I know they won 5-0 the last game, but bloody hell. Do you know what it is with Spain? They've just fallen so far from what they were, man. It's just...
Bro, they're not good, man. They're really not good. I don't know how they beat Slovakia 5-0. I mean, it's Slovakia at the end of the day, but Croatia won't be a 5-0.
No.
They could possibly still lose, but I'm hoping if they play the way they played against Scotland, the way Modric was running the show.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So let's see what happens there.
It's fallen so far. And then you got France, Switzerland. That's going to be a walk. I'm sorry.
France should take care of that.
It's going to be a walk. England, Germany. We've already spoken about. And Sweden, Ukraine is an underrated fixture. I think that's going to be quite an interesting one.
I really want to see Isaac. I want to see Isaac.
Yeah.
See what he has to do.
Now. Do you know Get some goals. This is it. If
Yarmolenko shows you up, then I'm worried. Do you know what I mean? So I want to see what Isaac has to do in that particular game. You'd favor Sweden, but then again, a lot of people are saying that Ukraine they play good as a team. So
they do. Yeah.
Let's see what happens there, man.
I think that game is quite evenly poised. Actually, I'm quite interested to see who makes it out of that game, because either of those teams getting to the quarterfinals will be a big deal for them. So just to go through just quickly, if there's any more updates. I mean, look, we know from a transfer perspective before we wrap up, AC Milan are interested in Tom, Dick, and Harry at Chelsea at this moment. Every single person they want. They want Bakayoko, they want Ziyech, they want Giroud, but they don't want to pay for anybody. They want 2-year loan, and then they want to do 2-year loan, and then we pay them 3 million to take the player, and then that is in installments over 3 years as well. These
Italian clubs they're running wild, bro. They're running wild.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So Bakayoko's agent came out and said it's possible Milan are looking for a player of his characteristics. Okay, then pay for him then. Come on. Let's get this deal done, man. And it is likely that they are to make a proposal. Bakayoko is a Chelsea player, but there is a possibility of a change of shirt. Milan will do everything possible to bring Milan will do everything possible to bring him in. Then pay for him then. No more loans, no more. And the only thing I want to see now is loans and obligation to buy. Obligation to buy, not options, obligations. Like I'm talking 40 million obligation to buys, or you pay. If you want to go down the obligation, I personally feel like we should be charging them more. or slap on a loan fee. If you want to do it like this, Chelsea fans, if the max in terms of the Italian clubs, because they're real stingy right now, 10 million initial fees and then 20 or 30 million obligation to buy, and that will make up the full price of what you was meant to pay for a Ziyech or a Bakayoko. But you've got to be paying. You've got to be paying for these players if you want them. And yeah,
you know what, Matisse? I feel like if we don't get a striker at all, and already we're out of the whole wing-back situation, I'm not even sure whether we're actually going to get Adama Traore. I don't think. Apparently, Leeds had a 40 million bid for Adama Traore declined last season. So, Chelsea are going to be dreaming if they can get for 40 million off Wolves. So I'm not even sure if that's going to happen. So I would keep Ziyech, man. I would keep Ziyech.
If we pay 40 million for him, and I hear that the final fee for Hakimi to PSG was 70 million euros, which is about 59 million pounds, and we pay 40 million pounds for Adama Traore, which is a 90 million pound difference. Yeah, if I hear that, a 90 million pound difference between Traore and Hakimi, I'm going to break stuff. Bro.
But some people are telling me Adama Traore is.
That's how currencies get mixed up in the office when you're negotiating. If I hear that, I'm not going to be happy.
You know what, Matisse? Some people are telling me that Adama Traore is better than Hakimi. Some are saying these sort of things.
Listen, Stamford Bridge. But don't do this to me, people. Don't do this to me, please don't do that. Like, let the price gap better be huge. Don't let it be a meaty little 19 million, because I'm gonna go mad if that's the difference between Hakimi output and a Adama Traore output. And then the final thing as well, which I've seen from just this morning's rumors, obviously the Hakimi deal is cash only, so that's why that's happening. Adama Traore is the backup option. So I expect Chelsea to at least do something and try and pursue him in some regard. Let me just check the chat now that I've done a little bit of Slander. Okay, doesn't seem to be too bad. Harden is still Chelsea's dream signing, and Lukaku to Chelsea can still happen. Inter may need to sell him still. I still think Lukaku to Chelsea can happen. I really do. But it's after the way I've seen Inter moving over this Hakimi thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy, man.
I mean, they've apparently with the Hakimi deal, they would have balanced their books, so they're not really obligated to sell Lukaku anymore. So, I mean, if they sell Lukaku, then they're going to have to look for a replacement. They're the Serie A champion. They're in the Champions League. I don't know, man. He even said it live. He's staying. He's spoken to Inzaghi. So, unless he's cold-blooded lied, which I would love. Do you know what I mean?
It would be great if it was. If it's a cold-blooded lie, I'm here for it. Please continue.
I'm here for it too. So,
but unlikely. Well, people, that's the end of the show. We can't talk about that on the All You Can Eat Chelsea show.
Yeah,
it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to happen, people. Do you know why? Because I just think if it doesn't happen, I think the cost of rebuilding Old Trafford, which is already quite a big fee because it's quite run down after the riots that take place there, it's just not worth. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. You may as well spend the money on Sancho or spend the money on stadium repairs. It's up to you guys. Do you know what I mean? I think it's got to be on Sancho. But Miz, final thoughts, bro, on everything, and who do you see winning the Euros? Who are your favourites after what you've seen in the group stages?
Look, as you know, I follow Germany, so the heart will always pound for Germany. But do I see them winning? I mean, they struggled against Hungary. Do you know what I mean? That scared me. So I'm actually a little bit scared against England as well because it might just fall for them. But I would love to see Jorginho with Italy go all the way and win it and lift that trophy.
Yes.
I would love to do a stream straight after that. Have all you guys there and talk about Jorginho. France, they looked okay, but I don't know. Once again, they're a bit up and down again. I thought that it'll be very difficult to beat them. I still think they'll be very difficult to beat. But Italy, man, I think Italy is the outside chance, man. I think Eden Hazard's the other one with Belgium. I would love to see him lift European trophy. So that'd be nice.
Yeah, I think for me, if I'm picking obviously outside England, I'd go Italy. Yeah, I'd love Italy to win it. Jorginho to win it would be lovely. Again, would just further help my claim to putting respect on his name in the public eye. It's not easy. We still strive, but if he wins that tournament, it's going to be a lot easier. But also, I just think they deserve it, man. So far, they're playing the best football.
Team.
Yeah, and part of me doesn't want France to win it, even though they're favourites, because Mbappe's just got a little stinky attitude now that I'm not liking. And I think
that's a bad attitude that kid has.
I don't know what it is about him now. He's rubbed me up the wrong way. I think he just needs to just be knocked down a peg or two. And I think no more success for him now for a while. A season of no League on win and a European Championship defeat as well might just calm him down a little bit with his little.
I feel he thinks he's a bit too big for everyone. I get the feeling he thinks he's just too big for everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Maybe I'm reading. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. But Giroud is just such a nice guy that if you don't get along with Giroud, it's a red flag. It's just Giroud is just one of them guys, isn't it? If you don't get along with him, for me, it's something wrong with you.
It's you.
It's a you problem. It's definitely a you problem. And that's just how it is. Do you know what I mean? So part of me doesn't want France to win it. I don't really like Benzema either with himself. So I just don't really like France, to be honest, right now. I'm not really feeling it. I think Italy are much more likable. I'll go with Italy. They've been playing the best football. They got a lovely players like Bonucci and Chiellini and these guys that didn't get the Champions League medal around their necks. It would be nice for them to get a European success with their country. So yeah, I'm rooting on Italy 100% if they get far. And is there anybody else? I mean,
Belgium. Would you like to see Eden Hazard lift the trophy?
Yeah, it would be nice to see Belgium. Belgium Hazard, De Bruyne. I like De Bruyne a lot. Lukaku. Yeah, I like Belgium. Yeah, Belgium wouldn't be too bad actually. I would take Belgium.
Courtois. Yeah.
See, this is where it gets ruined. This is where you've ruined it now. Yeah. Now I don't know about this anymore. Now you've ruined. Yeah. Let me see if I can find someone else. Hold on a second. I don't know about Belgium now.
The Courtois thing just
you've really ruined it with the Courtois thing. Yeah, 100%. Let me see who else is still knocking about.
Imagine Hazard's about to lift the trophy, but Courtois comes in and just snatches it off him.
See, Portugal won it last time, so no, not Portugal. Spain, definitely not Spain. I don't need to see that. Yeah, I think even though Courtois is on that team, it's got to be like for in terms of realistic contenders, it's got to be Italy or Belgium for me, because I know England's not going to do it, and I'm going to keep downplaying England publicly. By the way, while wearing the England shirt, that's going to be my thing. And if they surprise me,
once England, Germany is going to be a tall ask, but. You did say that after this match, it's quite an easy run, isn't it, for them?
Yeah, Italy and England don't really go together anyway. I'm sure they'll still find a way to get knocked out to Switzerland. Or no, not Switzerland, to like a Holland.
To Holland or a Ukraine or something like that. Yarmolenko, come on.
Yeah. So, do you know what? Yeah, if I'm being honest, as long as France don't win, I'm actually going to be all right. I've got, and it's a shame because I like Pogba, but it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? It is
you know what?
I'm going to run an agenda.
If France wins it, Kante Ballon d'Or though.
But he's won a World Cup. He'll live. I'm going to run an agenda against France. I'm going to run it. I'm going to run the agenda. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, I'm going to run the agenda. Miz, final thoughts. What have you got coming up now for the next?
Today I want to rest. I am feeling a bit under the weather, so I want to rest a little bit. I thought I was going to stream, but no, I don't think so. Tomorrow I'll be back, most probably talking about transfer stuff again, probably the whole Gilmour, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Bakayoko. So do tune in for that. The other side of the coin, guys, the chase is now for 6,000. We're going for it. Hopefully we get that before the start of the season. And so tomorrow, most likely 11 a.m. UK time, the other side of the coin, join in. We'll be talking about some transfer stuff. And perhaps I'll talk to the boys. Maybe we might do so if Matisse does the watch along, I was always thinking I was going to do a preview for England, Germany, which is going to be exciting. We're going to do the lineups, predicted lineups and whatnot. So if the boys are okay with Yunus and Matisse, maybe we might see them on my channel the day before the game. We do a preview. Matisse does a watch along.
I might do the watch along. I won't promise that now. I might, because the reason why I say I might is because someone just messaged me about box park tickets, and I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounds very appealing. It does. It does. I haven't actually gone out to watch any of the England games publicly yet. I've just been watching all the games inside, and box park tickets are quite difficult to get a hold of because they just sell out so quick. But someone says they might be able to get me tickets, so I might just do that. I might just do a vibes thing. I might just go out box park, see if I can meet anybody that watches. Hopefully, if you guys are at box park, if anybody goes to that, hopefully I'll see some of you guys there, and I might just do a vibes thing. So that might be it. But in terms of the content coming up here, apologies, we didn't drop anything yesterday. There was meant to be a video dropping, but I did a skit on Instagram for England. And I'm not gonna lie, my dance rehearsals took a while. But we'll try and drop. Well, the plan is to drop a video today, so it'll be a double upload to make up for yesterday, and then we're kicking on to the weekend coming up soon as well. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you already know you got your weekly shows on the lunchtime. Saturday and Sunday, the transfer checkers with Dami and Anita, and then London Clubs Carnage on Sunday, and then some videos sprinkled in there as well. And the roundabout will be back next Monday as well. So. Yeah, that's it. And much love to everybody here. And we'll see Eunice next week with us as well. And we'll see who has progressed this time next week out of England and Germany as well, which will be very interesting to discuss.
Very, very, man. It'll be quarterfinals time.
Yeah. Chat to you guys in a bit later. Peace.